you know, folks, we try and bring candidates on. We can't bring them on like a conga line, where we think we have an opportunity to win a seat, an open seat, or to knock off an incumbent in the House or the Senate. There's a very important seat in Colorado's 8th District. Gabe Evans is the Republican running. Mr. Evans, how are you, sir?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me on tonight.
You got it. Tell us a little bit about this district, since most of us are not that familiar with it.
Yeah, so this is Colorado's 8th Congressional District. It's the North Denver suburbs up to Greeley in Colorado, northern Colorado, along the Front Range. It was the closest Republican loss in the nation 2 years ago. My Democrat opponent and I are currently in a dead heat in this race, but we're feeling really confident because I'm a 12-year U.S. Army vet, another 10 years law enforcement, current Republican state representative. Already represent about 50% of the geography of this district via my state house seat. And folks are ready for a change. They're tired of open borders. They're tired of the cost of living. They're tired of the crime that's running rampant in our communities because of the failed leftist progressive policies that are making everybody's life less affordable and less safe. And I'm trying to fix that.
Now, what is your opponent's name?
Yadira Caraveo.
And what is her or his background?
She used to be a pediatrician and then a few terms in the state house where she voted for every defund the police, open border, sanctuary state policy that you can imagine. Didn't have quite enough fun wrecking Colorado there, so then she moved on to Congress. She's been there for one term and has continued that pretty abysmal voting record, and that's why we need to retire her.
So she lines up with the radical leftists like the Pelosis of the world and the AOCs of the world and the Hakeem Jeffries of the world. And I suspect when she comes back to the district, she pretends she's much more of a moderate. Is that about right?
Oh, absolutely. She'll go and throw down a vote in Congress that says, you know what, if somebody commits a violent felony with a firearm, we should lower their penalty from 15 years to 4 years. And then she'll come back to the district and say how much she backs law enforcement and wants to keep communities safe while voting to cut down to 4 years the penalty for people who commit violent felonies with firearms.
And I'm guessing she goes along with the Democrat crowd, Harris, Biden, and all the rest on this open border stuff, yes?
Yeah, she's voted against securing the border. Like I said, she's voted for every sanctuary state policy in Colorado. She's continued that voting record at the federal level. In fact, she voted against funding for the Veterans Affairs Administration because that particular piece of legislation did not allow her to take money away from veterans to be able to go give to illegal immigrants. As a veteran myself, I have a big problem with that.
Mm-hmm. And Harris has done that too, by the way. She's never supported the vets. She's never supported the military personnel. She never voted for a salary increase, 2.3%, 3.1%. But they can't throw enough money at illegal aliens. And your district, what seem to be the big issues in your district?
So this district is the salt of the earth people here in Colorado. In the northern part of the district, we have the 4th highest energy producing county in the nation, which, by the way, she's a dead set against domestic energy as well. We've got the 4th highest energy producing county, the 8th highest ag producing county. And then in the southern part of the district, we really have the industrial hub in Colorado that takes all of those raw materials and turns it into asphalt, concrete, fuel, food. So we've got plumbers and pipe fitters and truck drivers, farmers, ranchers, oil and gas workers. That's really the flavor of the district. So when my opponent goes out and brings the most damaging bill in Colorado history against our energy economy, and that contributes to about a $5 billion economic loss just in the energy sector in this district, those are things that are at the top of people's mind when we're talking about how do we fix the affordability crisis that the progressive left has given us.
So she's a real radical. Sounds like she's a real Marxist bomb thrower. And did you guys ever debate in the district?
We challenged her to about 6 different debates. She accepted 2 of them. One with just our known far left leaning TV anchor. That one happened last week, and then we have one this Friday. And those will be our 2 debates.
How is the spending going in terms of her donations and yours?
Oh, the left knows that she's in trouble, and so they're just showering money upon her. She's got probably 3 times as much money as we have. But when you go look at the polls, like I said, we're actually leading in the most recent one by 0.2%. And that's after being outspent by just millions of dollars. And so what that tells me is she's bumping up against a ceiling. And, above and beyond that, folks aren't going to be convinced by all the amount of money that she's throwing at them to try to run away from her own voting record.
How's your ground game?
It's probably about 3 times the size it was 2 years ago. I wasn't the nominee 2 years ago, but we've been able to pull a ton of folks into this district. So in between our own organic campaign and some of those outside groups that we're not really allowed to coordinate with, but that we know are putting a lot of folks on the ground, we're in a much better position than 2 years ago.
Now, I assume Colorado has early voting.
Election month has started. I actually have my ballot in hand right now. They came out late last week.
And I think we want to encourage people to vote early, to get out early and vote so they can participate in getting other people out to vote during the course and the lead up of the election day, correct?
That was the post that we threw up on our social media accounts just earlier today. So not only by voting early do you ensure that your vote gets in, your vote gets counted. Here in Colorado, we have a ballot track system where you can actually track your ballot as it goes through the whole process. But like I tell everybody, the added benefit you get by voting early is then you come off of all of the various different lists, and the amount of political calls and texts and door knocking that you receive goes way down.
Yeah, it makes it easier for a campaign to get out those voters who haven't voted yet. It's very, very important. If you're going to vote, just vote now. And I say that to everybody in all the states where there's early voting. There is no reason to wait. In fact, you can harm your candidates if you do so. So if people want to help you, where do they go?
ElectGabeEvans.com is the website. ElectGabeEvans.com. You'll have 2 E's right next to each other there. If you live in the district, we would love to connect. If you can help us do that, get out the vote effort. If you don't live in the district, like I said, we are currently 0.2% ahead, and we need every resource that we possibly can to keep sharing our message with the folks who are ready for some change.
All right, Levinites, I bring you these candidates that need help and can win. Gabe Evans. He can win. Colorado 8th. ElectGabeEvans.com. We wish you all the best, my friend. God bless.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.